Extreme and dangerous fire conditions through much of Victoria and eastern parts of South Australia today. And first off, we can see what's driving that. Severe weather warning is current for damaging winds for much of Western Victoria and parts of eastern South Australia and southwest New South Wales. So in these highlighted areas, we could see winds of 60 to 80 kilometres an hour, and they could gust in excess of 90 kilometres an hour. And that could bring down trees and power lines and cause some minor property damage. But of most concern is those winds are also forecast over the Grampians National Park, where we have a very large and dangerous and complex fire going there at the moment, and that's likely to get even worse as we move through the daytime hours. And this is a part of the very extreme fire danger that we are seeing right across eastern parts of South Australia, and also much of Western and Central Victoria, and even into Eastern Victoria. What that means, as I've been saying for the last few days, if you live in these orange highlighted areas, the combination of winds, high temperatures and low humidity is leading to dangerous fire conditions, meaning that fires today will be uncontrollable and uncontainable and lead to dangerous and erratic fire behaviour. So please, today, if you live in these highlighted areas, stay up to date with the latest forecast and warnings and listen to all and any advice from emergency services, particularly for those in and around the Grampians National Park. Now, what's driving this is not only those winds, but also temperatures. We can see temperatures in the high 30s to low 40s today and getting even higher into parts of Western Queensland. But that cool change is now starting to move through Adelaide, and it's going to move through much of southeastern Australia tonight. So you can see much cooler conditions on the way through South Australia and Victoria, but the heat returning into northern and eastern parts of New South Wales. We could even get into the low 40s for western parts of Sydney. But it's all about the wind, and let's time that out. So right now, we've seen the cool change moving through the Adelaide area, and that's impacting the fires north of Adelaide there. And it's a strong and gusty westerly change. So you're going to have northerly winds coming down ahead of that change. Then it's going to shift west-southwesterly behind that change, meaning any ongoing fire will likely change direction rapidly and dangerously. That cool change will then move into eastern parts of South Australia early this afternoon, and then into western parts of Victoria into the early to mid-afternoon, including around the Grampians National Park with that very large fire going. And that's going to see those winds increase as we move to the early afternoon hours, and then they'll shift gusty westerly as we move into the mid-afternoon hours around that fire zone, and that's going to cause a very dangerous afternoon for those on and near that fire. So please watch out for that. Then that cool change will move into central parts of Victoria late this afternoon into this evening hours, probably around the Melbourne area around that 7 or 8 o'clock time frame, with a very cool and gusty wind change sweeping up the bay. Then that cool change will move into eastern parts of Victoria tonight and spread across much of the state into tomorrow morning, and then we'll see that heat focus up into northeast New South Wales. So with a big and dangerous day of hot windy conditions across Victoria and eastern South Australia today, make sure you stay up to date with the latest forecasts and warnings via our website, app and social media, and please listen to all and any advice from emergency services.